Hey everyone, welcome back to the Coaching Life Podcast. I'm Pat Martin here with my good friend Chris Stewart, and as always, we're bringing you talk from every angle of the sports world. Today, Coach, we're diving into a topic that's not just changing the game, it's redefining it. We're talking about artificial intelligence in sports. From advanced scouting and game day strategy to injury prevention, fan engagement, and even officiating. AI is making its presence felt on and off the field, but what does that mean for the people closest to the game? How does it impact athletes and parents and coaches and officials? So buckle up. This episode, we're breaking down where AI is already making waves, where it might be headed next, and how we can all adapt to this new era of sports. Let's get into it. Not bad.
Was that original thinking?
Not bad without a teleprompter. Nope. Before I got here today.
That's good writing right there. That is really good writing.
I did take some journalistic
Took
liberty
some journalism class. Oh,
with
some
I
liberties
didn't read it word for word, but
oh yeah.
skip some things and replace some things.
Summarize.
So on
Paraphrase.
the way when I was in my car trying to find a parking spot, I typed in the chatgpt.com, and I explained gave a little description of our podcast, what we talked about, who we
What we're
are,
doing today.
and
Oh yeah, what our podcast is about.
yeah, and then said we're talking about artificial intelligence today. Could you write me up an intro? And
That was it.
3 seconds later, boom, I
Yeah.
had the intro there. Wait, that was the intro that it gave me. So.
But what people don't realize is this entire episode is AI. Pat didn't really come to Athens today. We just jumped into an AI tool and said, create for us a podcast with a guy in a Meg shirt.
So we're going to jump right into the negatives of AI, how it could be used for evil. That is a problem right now, though.
Do you remember, I think it was last year, I sent you a podcast episode. I said, listen to this. It was about 15 minutes long. And it was a host and a co-host, a man and a woman, reviewing my book, Building Champions. And do you remember that? I wish I could find it real quick and play it on here because it would have been perfect for this episode. But what it was this. It was AI. But what it was we had a student here who was a grad student who was doing his thesis on one of the Google AI tools, not the Gemini one that you see every time you open up Google, but it was a tool that owned by Google, specifically made for promotional materials and things like that. Like if you were to upload a PDF document and you wanted it to read it for you, or if it's something that you created, it would create promotional materials for you. And I wish I could remember what it was called. So he brought it to me. I was chatting with him back in the office, and he said, I know you wrote a book, and this gentleman's name is Quang. It's from Vietnam, and he said, I know you wrote a book, and he said you need to try this. And I don't mean to. He has an accent. I almost just was speaking like his accent, just because I can hear him saying it in my mind. But he came around to my desk, and I found the PDF because I still had the PDF manuscript of my book, and he said, upload your PDF and watch what it does. And so I uploaded the PDF, and it was thinking, and it started creating things one by one, and then I get this whole page of different tools that it spit out within less than a couple minutes. Yeah. There was a poster advertisement, like for a book signing. There was a brief description, like a press release. There was just a summary, like if somebody wanted to use it. And then there was an audio file. He said, click on that audio file. and it was a podcast episode with intro music, outro music, transitions. The transitions were, went based on like the different chapters they were reviewing and such, and the back and forth with those two AI hosts was so real that like when I took it home and I let April hear it, she's like, "Who is this? Like who? What podcast is this? And how do they know about your book?" And I said, "It's fake. It's AI."
Yeah.
And it was, as the person who wrote the book, I'll tell you, it was really good. Like it was spot on. Like this must be like, let's get in the mind of Chris right here. This must be what he was thinking when he wrote this. He used an example of his son playing in a game, and he was really hard on him on the way home from, oh yeah, and the lady would cut in like, oh yeah, I remember that. I love that story. It was so good, and it was just like a natural. It was like it was our podcast. I mean, it was just like the kind of conversation that we have back and forth.
It was genuine conversation.
It was very, yeah, it was. Genuine fake conversation. It was wild, man, because it was spot on. It was I thought it was so good that I went, you know what? I could post this to promote my book, and it's just all fake. It's just all AI.
In my mind, I'm trying to think if there's any.
Trying to determine if you like that or not, right? Is that good or bad?
Yeah, I mean, my initial thought is it's not bad. I mean, it's a tool. It's just like anything else.
It is a tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think there's probably a little bit of a slope there.
A slippery one.
A slippery one, yeah. Maybe, I don't know. The world we used to live in. If you saw it on video, that was the
right,
the de facto.
Tape don't lie.
That's all
right?
you need to know.
Video. If it's on video,
now that's not true at all.
Not at all.
So we've lost that source of truth, I guess you could say. But
yeah, it started with photos and Photoshop. You can manipulate any photo, and then you were able to do some manipulation with video if you're really good.
Yeah.
But now AI just creates it for you.
Well, I watched a video the other day about with. Was it LaFleur, the Packers coach?
Yeah.
Just trashing Jordan Love.
Oh yeah, and it wasn't even real.
It wasn't real, yeah. And it's not real because of the, it's like he starts using curse words,
right?
And you're like, oh, okay,
yeah,
this is fake. But if without those curse words, it'd be like.
There are people who watch that though and assume that it's real, and they'll post it even.
And they'll say, I mean, that's the thing. Like nowadays, when you see a video, you just can't watch that video, and especially you can take clips of the video are very dangerous. A clip here, a clip there can present a narrative that just doesn't exist, and so
you could take clip here and clip there of a real video that is not AI,
right,
and make it say what you want to say,
right.
That is the hatred being spewed toward Charlie Kirk. Let's just be honest.
Yeah,
people have taken clips and snippets of videos, and they've made them say what they want them to say, because if you listen to the entire thing, you see the man's heart.
I don't disagree with that. I'd like,
not at all.
I'd like to be challenged on that in a thorough fashion. Like if someone could show me that, not just through platform or theory either, but if you could show me that he said the words, that's being thrust upon him, then I would change my opinion. But
yeah,
I've never heard it, and I know there's a lot of people out there of those dispositions, I should say, that have never heard it as well. So
right.
But
yeah,
it is what it is.
There's a lot out there on that, and I mean, people don't come to our podcast for that, but we do have opinions on it. So
sure.
I mean, sometimes it's not wrong of. I mean, it's not wrong of us saying it's our podcast. We can say whatever we want.
Yeah,
get canceled whenever we want. Right.
Yeah. People could just stop listening.
That's right. But the AI thing is really interesting, though. I'll tell you something interesting about it is whenever you have a new technology like this, you almost assume that the people that are driving it is the younger generation.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like this is something that they like. Like this is, just like any like the newest social media or whatever, like they jump off, Facebook, when Facebook first started, it was young people. And then it became, then their parents got on it, and the young people found something else.
Yeah.
And
Now you're just old.
and now they still have a Facebook account that they use for grandma and grandpa to see, and they hide them from their Snapchat and Instagram accounts,
Yes.
right? And so
Yes.
and so that's but anything that's new that is flashy, you tend to think, like any trend, you tend to think it's the younger generation that's pushing it, that wants it, right? But this is actually one, and I shouldn't speak in full generalization across the board of young people, but just in the context of where I work here at the Scripps College of Communication, where we have creative majors and people studying to work in the creative fields, such as graphic design and broadcasting and things like that. There is an outpouring, an uproar, I should say, against artificial intelligence.
Yeah, that shocks me. Really,
In
really
fact, this is a student-run newspaper, right? The Post, which is that's basically the Ohio University newspaper that's run by our students here.
do a really good job.
Yeah, it's a great newspaper.
Yes.
I mean, when I say great, they do it. It's very well done. I don't always agree with everything that's written in here, right?
That's
And the writing isn't always great. I mean, they will get better. This is an experiential learning thing, right?
Yeah.
But for the sake of having a newspaper to hold in your hands and the coverage that they do, it's really good.
Yeah.
But that's cool. Like even in this art, I see a lot of students that I have that either work for me or take my podcasting class. I see their names in these articles.
Cool. Yeah.
Actually, one of my students wrote an opinion article in the back of this, Behind the Lens, Scripps, Viscom Need to Ditch AI. That's the title of the article.
One of your students.
I don't have Viscom students, but he's one of my guys that works for me out here.
Oh, okay.
Ethan
Okay.
is. But like I see Gwen's name in here. Gwen is a graphic design student. But they basically the whole idea here is I'm seeing and hearing students be more upset about the idea of AI being introduced into their fields, into their careers, and into their academic endeavors. Doesn't mean they're not using it to try to get their assignments done, but that's a whole different thing, right? And that's what faculty members are upset or concerned about.
Right.
But I was surprised. I don't know if I was surprised, but I'll say it's interesting. I was intrigued by the fact that when the AI discussion starts happening throughout these hallways, and you hear the students talking about it, more often than not, what I hear is a negative, not just a negative, but just a hatred of it. Like a lot of these students hate the idea of AI.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be it. We should have some.
We need to do a poll on this. We'll do a poll on this one. I mean, I don't know that we have a ton of students who listen to our podcast, but I hope we do. If you do, please let us know. Like if I'm off base here, let me know. But I can tell you what that's what I hear, right? I mean,
right.
And it's what we see in this
It's
issue.
America.
That there's a disdain for it.
That's interesting. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't wonder why. Just a fear of making it more difficult to survive as a human being in the field.
Yeah, I think people are worried it's going to take their jobs, take their livelihood.
Yeah, I think it may reduce, but I feel like there's AI engineers. There's going to be things that AI also introduces to the workforce that as we continue to use it, it's not going to completely eliminate the need for people. And to me, it's just a tool. It's just like, I don't know. Give me a tool that's revolutionized anything. The hay baler right?
Sure,
And
sure.
we got
Instead of getting out there and doing it with your hands, now
Right.
you've saved time doing it with, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Did that
it-
take away your livelihood?
I mean, maybe for a period of time.
Maybe some people.
Yeah, maybe.
Some people may have lost jobs during that for that. Yeah.
But I'm sure they figured you kind of reinvented yourself, and
Find a new job.
but
Yeah.
what a statement that is. I don't know that we've fit that into sports much over the course of our podcast, but you have to. Well, we talk about developing and getting better as a person and things like that. You're going to have to reinvent yourself.
You got to learn how to pivot.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So I
Well,
can
that's the
understand
thing.
that being scary, but
Yeah, and all the conversations I've had with them is it's been okay, guys. This is how you feel about it.
what are you going to do about it?
It's not going away. It's not going to go away.
Yeah.
Especially when people see what you can accomplish with it and how and I mean, a lot of them you're saying, well, it's just not very good. Like a graphic design, it's just not very good. I can do a lot better.
It's gonna
and
get
I
better.
agree. I agree. Yeah, there's some. I mean, I've seen the work that these guys do.
But you could use, if someone is better, they could use AI to be quicker and more
Sure.
efficient and to visualize things. You don't have to think about it. Well, what if I did it this way or that way? You can actually see it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like I had this argument one time. Oh, it's not an argument. I think it's an ongoing argument. Like people say that some roofers can work faster with a hammer than they can with a nail gun.
Yeah.
Not a nail gun.
Yeah.
They call it something different. Roofing gun.
Yeah.
But I've never heard of anyone that uses a hammer that used a roofing gun that then said, I could have done that faster with a hammer.
They just didn't.
but that
they just didn't switch to the roofing gun. They were really good and fast with the hammer,
Yeah.
but they just never did switch.
But
to
if
it.
you're really good and fast with a hammer, think about how really good and
You
fast
could probably be
you're
even
gonna
faster
be
with a gun, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it always seems to go that way. But I'm sure there's still people out there that don't agree with that. But that's
yeah,
kinda-
really, over the course of innovation, I mean, over the course of history and innovation, new innovations and new inventions and things, this has been what we have done as a civilization.
Sure.
Is we've just learned how to reinvent ourselves, how to pivot, how to use these tools. This one scares people a lot because it's doing a lot of things that you don't have to do, making you lazy. Like I've heard some arguments from some faculty members actually about the discovery process, like using AI instead of research, right? Because research is all, the world of academia is all about research. And some
made
people
the
only
same
have
argument.
jobs because of
I
research.
made the same argument with calculators, but no one.
That's,
you
you're
know,
true. That's true. Yeah, that's true.
They don't
Yeah.
not allow calculators anymore. At least most class. I don't know very many that say you can't use a calculator. So I think I just.
Yeah.
'Cause I remember what AI is a robot, but that was the thing. Robots were going to take over the world at some point. Not too.
Didn't Elon Musk say something about that?
Maybe, and I'm telling
about-
you, they got some crazy robots out there, man.
That's
Like,
scary.
robots that do some crazy
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah, that's scary.
crazy stuff. But still, someone has to make those robots.
Could you imagine running a robot out as a relief pitcher? Who's that down the bullpen? Man, he looks really kind of mechanical.
Wonder how much that would cost. He gets hit, but the skin comes off.
Yeah,
It shows
whoops. Yeah,
like on
yeah.
the Terminator.
This kid throws gas.
Speaking of that, how are you currently using AI?
I have used it as a
sure?
coach.
Yeah.
I have. Well, to back up, I actually typed into ChatGPT coming into this conversation. In what ways? This is the question that I posed. For coaches that do not use ChatGPT, I think you and I both, we highly recommend download the free program onto your phone because it's very helpful, and you'll find out in what ways it can be very helpful.
Do you subscribe?
I don't use the paid
I
version.
think I'm going to.
I
Does it
might.
limit you in
I'm
your-
getting. It does. You're limited in the photos you can upload and things like that, and video.
It's not that expensive.
It really isn't. I haven't looked into it much. I've just
$10 a month.
my level of use has only required the free version. So
Yeah.
I did
You
put a
get
few
away-
photos
you get
in
away.
one day, and it's like this is your quota for the day. You got to
Yes.
wait till tomorrow or whatever.
I've been
It was
trying to
actually. I tell you what
design.
we did. This was cool. So April and I, our house is going to be re-sided. We're going to be doing a lot of things to our home here.
Oh, really?
In the future here.
What color are you putting on it?
It's cedar now,
You
and
put
it's just a
cedar
pain
back
in the
on?
butt. No.
Vinyl.
I'm not a home, like if part of my existence was to take care of my home, then, and I loved doing that, then I would put wood on it again. We should never have bought a wooden home because we have neglected it. But you got to stain that stuff constantly, and it's just it's
So what are you putting on?
it looks good, but it's a
You've
pain
been
in the
doing
butt.
it for 20 years.
Vinyl. Yeah, we've lived there for 20 years, almost 20 years.
You doing backing, foam backing?
It'll be it'll be. I mean, we're just in the front end of it right now. We had somebody come out and measure and they're going to do some renderings for us. And before they sent us their renderings, April went outside one day. She goes, "You got that Chat GPT? Let's try something." So she went outside and took a picture of our house. She sent it to me, and then I put it in the Chat GPT, and I said, "Replace the wooden siding with light colored vinyl siding on the top, and a stone." Like they have this like what looks like stone around the bottom, like around your porch. And but that we're going to go that direction. I think that get something like that, and it thought about it, and then went kick it out, and then always asks you if you like this, would you like me to do something different? You can always adjust it, right? And it was, I mean, it had everything. This is funny. There is something funny though. You could barely see the back end of my truck, my 1979, my old Chevy truck, the 79 C20 square body. Like you could just see the bed of it, and you could tell it was an old vehicle. Like you could tell what car it was. But AI, when it did, it wasn't the focus of the picture, and it wasn't the focus of the question. It didn't take it out, but it wasn't a truck. It was like an old Pontiac or something. It was looked like an old Mustang or something, same color. But it was just from like the rear tire back.
Yeah.
But the landscaping and all, and speaking of landscape, that's another thing you can do. You could take a picture of your house, your yard, and say, "Give me some landscaping ideas."
Oh,
and
man.
it's pretty
I never
neat.
thought about that.
Yeah.
I've been wanting I have no vision on things like that.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing. You and I don't have the vision for it or the time. And or the money maybe to hire somebody to come out and do it for us and to show us, and so just take a picture of it and ask AI to do it. And so anyway, but this is the answer that it gave. Well, it's a huge answer, but I'll just give you a little bit of it. In what ways can AI be helpful to high school baseball coaches? The answer, and this took 10 seconds or less for it to crank all of this out. All right.
Oh, yeah.
And it said, so there's just the opening paragraph is, "Great question. AI can actually be a really useful tool for high school baseball coaches, even without big league budgets. Here are some ways it can help." A lot of the things that the MLB teams and upper end college teams have been doing, utilizing tools such as Rapsodo or TrackMan and all these different things to analyze data. Or to analyze hitters and pitchers and fielders and throw out and do it. You can do it with video. Set up your phone to video your practice, to video a game, and every single at bat that kid has, tell AI what you want to analyze, and it'll do it for you. Yeah. And then eventually over the course of the season, that kid has 50 at bats. And you plugged in with your video the question, what does he hit well? What pitch does he hit the best? What location? How does he hit when he's behind in the count or ahead of the count with this count? I mean, just all sorts of things. Now that takes a lot of work on your end still, but it's doing the work of a $15,000 TrackMan program.
Yeah.
Free tool will do that. Yeah. The free tool will do that. Now you would be limited in how many videos, so you may not be a free tool, but it's not that much. It's like you said, it's not that expensive.
No, it's really not.
Yeah.
It's very affordable. It may be less than that.
Right.
Every time I get
you're talking like $6.99 a month, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It might be less than that.
Right.
I don't know.
$6.99 a month. Yeah.
Yeah. It's cheap. It's cheap. You can do a lot of things with it. We were talking about a couple weeks ago, practicing situational baseball.
Yeah.
Like not just drilling it, but practicing it. Putting the
Right.
guys in those situations and letting it play out live. You could, very simple. Give me 10 situations in baseball that
Because
would
in the
often-
heat of the moment, you don't always think about what all situations you might want to work on.
Right.
But you can prepare for your practice. That's a great idea.
Yeah. And then, we've talked about it. I do this, and actually one of the abilities that you have with the paid option is to upload files, a bunch of files, previous practice plans, which I think you did. I think you,
Yeah.
and you can copy and paste the text as well.
Like
Do the
Word
same
documents
thing,
or
basically.
something. Yeah.
But, you can say this is our first 3 weeks of practice. What have I missed?
I did do that.
You say, what do I miss?
Yeah.
Or you just say-
Here's what we have worked on so far. Based on what we've worked on so far, what do I need to what should we be focusing on? Yeah.
Yeah. And then make me a practice plan for it.
Yeah.
And
I have done that, yeah.
Yeah. It's really neat.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
You mentioned Major League Baseball. They're actually talking about outlawing some technology at that level because they've a few organizations, maybe
Have
all
unlimited
of them now,
resources.
I don't know,
Yeah.
have the like the live video of the pitcher that they're facing
Yeah.
in a couple hours,
Yeah.
throwing out of a wall
Right.
to the hitters with the same spin rate
Yep.
and
they can
the
adjust
same
those
velocity,
machines.
everything, tendencies. They do.
Yeah.
Because you could track what they throw when they throw it, so they could like follow a tendency, and so you're actually taking live at bats against the guy you're going to face later that day, and some teams I guess don't like that.
I mean, what better way to prepare?
I mean, I don't know how you can outlaw that, really. I mean,
Yeah. How do you police that?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
guess they would know what's in their environment, but I mean, to me, it's just smart. It's just that it's crazy. Yeah, it's good
Yeah.
stuff.
I would
And
love to have
everyone's
that.
complaining because batting averages are down anyway. Why not allow them to do it?
That's true. Here are the major. So it gave me 5 main points of ways that it can be helpful to just high school baseball coaches. And here are the 5 main points, and there are sub points underneath each one of these. But player development, scouting and game prep, practice planning,
Yeah.
admin and communicating, just to help basically.
That's a good point. I was going to actually bring that up.
Okay, cool. And the 5th one is leadership and culture. Just providing some team motivation tools and things like that, player reflections and mental game strategies, things like that.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So we talk a lot about parents are we got some,
Can
got
you
some
all hear
problems
that?
going on campus
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
Huh?
It's a rainy day.
ACMS. You could tell AI, you could tell Chat GPT, the coach hates my kid. He never plays. He should play. He's better than these kids. You could take all the biased thoughts that you have about a situation and your kid playing as a parent, to throw it in Chat GPT and say, give me an outline of a conversation that I can have with
true.
the coach, that comes across as professional and won't offend them and is good for the team, and you could put all those guardrails in it, and it would. I've never done that.
That's
but
a great idea.
It is a great.
It's a great
idea.
piece of advice.
It is,
because
yeah.
it's going to come up with something most likely better than what your emotions want.
Yes,
to do.
and this is something you could follow. And
Wow.
stick with. So, something that people can.
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. So the admin and communication aspect, that is one way that it can be used.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah.
But you can do it, anything, any type of, we often go in groups in our practice planning. We'll have a group A, group B, or maybe even 3 groups sometimes, 4 groups,
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And you could use AI to split those groups up based on a number of
Right.
factors, experience or age or, whatever it is, and very quickly. And it's like, well, that doesn't help a lot. But when you're sitting down creating practice plans every night, any amount of time that you can save is important, is nice. So,
100%.
that's what AI can do is make things go a lot faster
Yeah.
than what they normally do. I've actually, what else was I using? I was using another AI tool, not just ChatGPT. Although I feel like ChatGPT does a better job, but I was using another. I can't remember. I'm thinking about getting on deck circles.
What is it?
On deck circles.
Oh yeah.
So
We got a couple of those.
I think I'm going to get the. So we have a.
You're gonna get the high end, expensive ones. I know.
Well,
And
the reason
I
the
bought
reason
the $75 ones.
I think I want to get this
piece of turf.
They're not $75, are they?
No, I think
They're like
They weren't
$250.
much.
They're $250 for two of them.
ours is pretty. We got pretty light. Yeah, two for $250.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
I think I'm gonna get a couple of those too, to switch in and out, maybe for JV games. But we have a. Briar Wolf was a Megs alum and played baseball for Megs, and his brother played. His older brother came through first, and actually Zane was one of the first year that I coached. Second year he was one of our assistant coaches. Helped a lot in the weight room. I miss him. He's working on a boat now, so he's not available. But Briar passed away in an automobile accident, and his family donated a substantial amount of money to the baseball program, and it's use it on the food, equipment, things like that. But
Yeah.
thinking about with anything I buy with it, I run through Briar's father just to see what he thinks about it. But thinking about using that to get a real nice on deck circle in memory of
Oh, yeah.
Briar Wolf, and they are. It is. You're right. They're up.
Yeah.
I would never buy them if I didn't have that allocated money to do
Right.
something like that with. So, but anyways, I've been trying to design using AI, come up with a design for those
Yeah.
on deck circles, and you're typing in text.
Yeah.
You can type,
And it's giving you a graphic design.
and it's not even that. Like you just say, give me a design for a batting circle, and it's probably going to come back at you and say, okay, what words do you want to put
Yep.
on it? What image do you want to put on it? What color scheme do you want to use?
It'll ask you those
And
details.
if
you don't give it to it initially, it'll
yeah,
ask you.
and then you give it to them, and like you said,
Yeah.
maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes,
You'll get-
boop, you get a design up there. That's really
Brock did that for. I'm going to out him here. I think he did that for the Legion jerseys.
Oh, really?
This year. He wanted to have the post. Was it post 39?
Uh-huh.
He wanted to have that in the same scripted font as the St. Louis Cardinals uses on theirs, and it's not a font that you can find. Really, and so,
To pick
or
or
if you,
select
or
it.
you maybe you could find it, but you'd have to search through font websites, thousands and thousands of fonts, and match it up and try to
Yeah.
see. And so he went to ChatGPT, I think, and said, "Create for me a baseball jersey using the same font that's on the St. Louis Cardinals home jersey." In the color scheme of baby blue with red and white outline, and this is what it should say: post 39 baseball, post 39 with a tail underneath, and it cranked out, and those are pretty sweet looking.
They
actually.
were. They were nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why not use it? So,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something that I'm thinking about and trying to comprehend how we can make this work. So, and maybe we can work this out here together. You can tell me, you can give me, because you're the more analytical thinker. So,
I don't know about that.
we keep a pitcher tendency chart in our dugout anyway, meaning on the left side of the page.
For opposing pitchers.
Yeah, like what pitch are they throwing in this count? Yeah. So we have a guy charting the opposing pitcher, and so when one of our batters first gets in the box, it's an 0-0 count. Well, what does the kid throw? And so he basically puts the pitch and the location. Okay, now it was a strike, so now it's an 0-1 count. So he puts his thumb on, he finds the 0-1 box, and whatever the kid throws, does it there. So over the course of a game, we have what that kid did in one game. Sometimes we face the same pitcher 2 or even 3 times a year, depending,
But not
or
often.
or we have faced, we have faced a pitcher from this since the time he was a freshman, right? And now he's a senior. So
Yeah.
now we've got 8 sheets on him. Granted, he's going to grow and get different, but you still see
still
some
data.
you still see some patterns there, right? And you really only use it where the patterns are extreme. For example, the last 2 times we've faced this pitcher, every time we had a pitcher that we faced where when he had a 2-1 count, so he's behind in the count as a pitcher, he would throw a curveball according to our data on the sheets that we kept. He would throw a curveball 97% of the time.
Wow.
Like there was only one time that he threw something different than a curveball.
So you setting curve there?
And
Hit
so
it?
we told our kids, there's a good chance that when he gets this count, that's what he wants to throw, And so if you don't want to hit a curveball, just let it go. But also know if it's a strike, you're going to be down 2-2,
Yeah.
It's
I think that's the mentality of a lot of coaches and players. If I know it's a curveball, I'm not going to swing. But I'm like,
But we tell them if you know it's a curveball, or if you want to sit on curveball, and you're expecting it, and you can crush that pitch. And if it's a fastball, well, he didn't throw according to the probability. So that's all it is. It's a probability. It's a pitch probability chart.
it gives you an approach.
Yeah. And so the thing I'm pondering here is, could we utilize AI for that chart this year?
Oh, there's no
Like,
doubt
and
about
actually, basically, what I'm saying is use AI in-game adjustments, in-game decision making, not just for their pitchers, but also for ours. Right?
mix it up.
Like, this is what this hitter has done in this. This is what he did his last at bat. So what should we throw him at this at bat?
Or to say, here's what we normally throw in these counts.
Mm-hmm. Should we do something?
Is there
different?
anything? Yeah, is there anything that stands out in our situation?
And
we can
granted, it's not foolproof because it's again, there's human beings you're playing against, and they're going to adjust as well. And but I think there is an advantage there that can be had.
Well, I guess it would depend on the player, but at the very least, you have a mental advantage, a confidence edge going up to the plate. No, okay, if I get in this situation, if I get in this count, I feel good about him throwing this pitch.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. But
Well,
I think if you took a picture of that chart and put that in
Right.
AI and said, "Give me a summary," like you're a baseball analytics department. Like
Yeah.
you can assign AI roles just to kind of give them
Yeah.
to make it know, okay, this is my job.
Yeah,
You're a
that's
baseball
true.
analytics department, and we want you to analyze this data and tell us what the the primary tendencies are of the pitcher that stand out to you.
Yeah.
I don't think that would take very long at all.
Yeah, and if you've done that 2 or 3 times, after 2 or 3 games, at least ChatGPT does this. It just kind of, you take a picture of that chart and just hit post. It assumes it knows what you're looking for after that, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, the last couple of times this is what you've asked me to do. So here's your data for this.
Yeah.
Like you don't even have to ask it anymore. It'll do it. It's pretty wild. But yeah, I think that's I don't know. I'm gonna work on that, and it's one of the reasons why I love having a student manager. We didn't have one last year. We tried to get one, but we just didn't have anybody with the interest or the time. But this is something that doesn't require someone who knows baseball or even likes baseball. But there are tasks like this, in addition to other things I would use a student manager for. But this particular would be something that I would look into. Because we do a lot of our own charts. I mean, Brock brings a chart in every week of this is last week's, these are the games after we start playing games. In last week's games, these are our leaders, and this is how we went up or down, right? On base percentage went down by 2%. Slugging percentage went up, whatever. And it's offensive and then who the leaders are in those categories each time. But again, in your communication with, like you said, someone who wants to know, why am I maybe not playing as much as I feel like I should. Here's a tool for us coaches, that have very real numbers. That,
I'd almost spend. I mean, definitely, I agree with what you're saying. There, you could always spend. That's kind of player development too.
yeah,
Like, here you are.
yeah,
You could paint this picture very quickly with AI.
right.
Compare this player's statistics to the team statistics. Here you are. Here's everybody.
And here's
else.
where you fall. Yeah,
Where are you at?
yeah,
If you're 12, 13 on that list, kind of
Right.
speaks for itself.
right. I think you said you did this last year, or maybe you said you were thinking about doing it, or maybe you just did it as a test. I'm going to start doing it. I'm going to put a certain number of data points with all of my players into AI after every game. And what I mean by that is their at bats, how many hits they at bats, hits, average on base percentage, OPS, and maybe RBIs, something like that. Strikeout versus walk ratio, things like that.
You can probably just export your game.
And just export the game changer to it, that data, and tell it what, and maybe even prioritize the fields that you want there. Like these on base percentage means the most to me, and
Does it?
And then, well, if that's what I want, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought you were saying
yeah,
that.
it does actually. When I do it without AI, because I actually do this myself. I will filter those fields and make a list of where guys are falling within the last, and I don't do over the course of a season. I usually will do within the last this past week or the past 4 or 5 games, right? Because what have you done for me lately? Basically,
That's
is
fair.
what
Yeah, that's a good thought.
and making decisions.
It's always like on base percentage plus slugging.
Yes, which is OPS.
Yeah.
So I look at on base percentage and then OPS is the top 2 for me, and then strikeouts also. Although strikeouts because it doesn't apply to everyone. Because I got a kid. You got a kid that strikes out a lot, but he also hits a lot of extra base hits.
He might be like a 3 or 4 hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
5,
it does.
something like
Yeah.
that.
If you've got a leadoff hitter that strikes out a lot, there's where you're thinking differently, right? But basically, what I'm saying is, put all that information in every, and it accumulates.
Yep.
And then you say, okay, we've got a game tonight.
Yep.
What would your recommended batting lineup be?
Yep.
And
I did something similar to that with our end of season awards.
oh, okay.
I put everybody's stats in, what position they played, and their
Who
age.
should I nominate? Type of thing. Yeah.
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 Yep. And they'd give me a list, and I'd do it again. I'd do it again. I'd do it again, just changing the prompt a little bit.
Right.
What about this? What about that? This kid had a big hit in this game. Do it again.
Yeah.
And just continue to do it, and then you see a pattern of these 3 kids are always at the top, no matter
Yeah.
what prompt
Yeah.
we put in. So got to nominate those 3 kids. You know what I mean? It doesn't change a lot. I like to do a lot of stuff like that. I like to quiz the coach, not quiz, but put out to my assistant coaches. What do you think?
Oh yeah,
And then combine that
I
knowledge.
ask for a batting order. I ask you guys give me yours. And
You ever ask your players? Not for a batting order, but do you ask your assistants for end of league or in the year awards like TVC?
Oh yeah, recommendations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who do you guys think?
Do you ever do that
Yeah.
for your players?
And you know what? Our guys, we talk so much. Like
You already know. I
we
understand.
constantly like we kind of all know.
Yeah.
I mean, but if there's somebody who wants to advocate for somebody that maybe that they not sure that I would think of, that they'll throw that out there.
Yeah.
But I've been really fortunate to have the Southeast District Assistant Coach of the Year on my staff. So
That's true. You've been unfortunate to have so many good players on your teams, though.
yeah, well, yeah, that's
'cause
true.
you can only get
you
so
have to
many.
stop at certain.
Yeah,
We had a kid this year that didn't make all league, and he had a 100 points higher batting average than about 4 kids that made all league. But he would have been our 7th guy, and we
care.
got 6.
I don't care.
Right? I don't
That's
either. If they all deserve it. They all deserve it.
Yeah, let's take the top 27.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's take the top 27.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Because really,
Honestly,
who's going to think about it again? Like
That-
Jake brought his trophies and said, "Where should I throw these away?" Right?
I bet you I could ask. Well, I don't know, a lot of people, not from last year, but the year before, who was an all league selection and who made all district, and the answers would be not close to being right.
Yeah. Think back 2 years ago. Who made all league?
Yeah,
I don't even know. I don't know that I could give you that for my own team.
I hate them.
I know you do. You fret about it every year when it rolls around. I get these texts from Coach, like, "Oh, I hate this time of year. Can we just cancel this? Can I just not go to these meetings?"
I won't argue to reform the season voting, the end of league award season voting. I'll argue to ban them,
There
to
you
get
go.
rid of them. I just
Parents love that, man. They love it. They love those awards banquets.
I do, yeah. And I said I don't even call mine an awards banquet. It's just an end of season.
See, we do call it awards because that's really all it is. I mean,
It really is. You
last 2 years, it's not been in the end of the season. We're still playing when we did it. So it's
Yeah, that's true.
because if you wait till the end of the season now, there is no school anymore.
Yeah,
And
it does make
it's
it
hard to
tough.
get them
You're
together.
right. Yeah,
We just go ahead and schedule it on the same day that the district meeting is, where they find out what those awards are. And I don't have the awards in my hands, but I tell them this is what you got.
So do you have it on the day of the district meeting?
Yeah, we didn't this year because it was on Mother's Day, I think.
Oh,
And so we
that's
did
a
it
long
the following
day.
week. It is a long day,
because we got to go up there.
but you get it out of the way. I mean, I'm with you. I don't really like it either, but
Nah,
you get it out of the way.
not saying no one's deserving of it. It's just I
No,
don't think it means as
I'm not
much
saying
as
that I
those
don't
kids.
like to encourage kids when they do things well. It's
I mean,
just,
Ethan Stewart was
it's
all
more
state.
stressful than it needs to be.
It is.
It
Yeah.
is.
Because we put so much value on it in the moment. Ethan Stewart was first team All State 2 years in a row. He don't care.
Yeah.
He don't care about that. He cares
Yeah.
about what he's going to do this next
And
game.
the
Pitch or
truth
throw
is,
you.
those all-state awards, at least for baseball, I don't know about other sports, for like Ohio baseball, it's completely based on if your coach nominates you and how hard your coach promotes you
Yeah.
and politics for you.
I don't know, man.
Because there are a lot of
in his case,
if you-
his stats were just stupid.
well, yeah, he deserved. Obviously, you
Well,
deserve
I'm not
it.
saying just
But I
that,
mean,
it's just-
but there are
Like, if he didn't
like
get
I'm a
it, I'd
poll
have been
voter,
like,
and
what
so I'm
the-
telling you, I get emails from the same coach, the same 12 coaches, approximately, give or take, every week promoting their programs, and I know that there are other programs that are better. And I do vote for them. If I know of other programs that are better, I'll vote for them. But it sure does help to have those emails to go back to and say, this is what you did this week. This is what your record is. This is who you played.
It does.
right?
And you know,
if you don't do that, then you're not going to get votes.
And people talk bad about the Southeast District voting system, and for like to put to determine postseason seeds. Mm-hmm. But and that's one of the negatives they talk about. These coaches are texting each other right now, buddy system them up. Well, that's not. So you have two pictures. One picture is, yes, you're getting texts from coaches and you're hearing who they played and who they think is good, and all this. And yes, they usually you're hearing from the people that you would consider a contact or an acquaintance that you've played, that you've known for a few years. That's one picture. There is some bias in there, probably, right? The other picture is blind.
Right. Is that better?
No, yeah, exactly. It's not better.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just you might as well draw of a hat almost.
Yeah.
But that would be another thing that we could, and I didn't last year, but you know what? I think I will do that like immediately. I think I'm going to do that this year. Is put our seedings in ChatGPT, maybe a couple different AIs, and say, hey, here's the schools in my district. I want to rank these based off of who the best team, whatever, and take into consideration their wins, their quality wins, their quality losses.
How are you going to explain that to the Chat GPT?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it might take a little bit longer than normal, but
But it might not, though. Like if you put the school's name and where they're located, it might be able to go out and find all that information.
Could.
If
Right.
it's out there. If the
And I'm
information,
thinking
if
specifically
Game
on
Changer,
the
if it-
quality wins and quality losses, because that means a lot.
yeah.
You know, but
But I mean, it'll
if the-
in seconds analyze their schedule, who they played, and who those other teams have played, and who those other teams have played.
if you have it captured,
it'll figure
like
it out.
If the teams in your quality wins and losses are in the list, oh, it would do it like that. But you know, there would be
Right.
quality wins against a higher division or even a
Yeah.
lower division.
Yeah.
Quality loss the same way. So, you
But
know,
I'm wondering, like I said, if it would already even know, like
it may. It could,
like
it could
I
search.
know that this, like, you played Lancaster. Well, Lancaster is a Division I school, and this is who they play, and
would
this is what
definitely
they
give
ended up in
you-
their league, and so that means this was a quality loss, or or a quality
It would
win.
definitely give you more insight.
Yeah,
makes it stronger.
That's great.
So, like if you you have a list of who you think you're gonna, the rankings that you have, you can
Yeah.
compare it to that list and say, where am I off?
Yeah.
I got a team ranked down here, but they're up here. Where am I off?
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna do it, at least to help me.
yeah.
There's a lot of ways it can be used.
There is. Yeah. At the end of the year last year, once our season was over, I was going through and just looking at the final stats of the year and things like that. I just for the kicks and grins, because I was just starting to get into using ChatGPT at that time. Like I use it for a few practices or whatever to get some ideas, and I thought this would be cool, And I did what I mentioned that I want to do next year, which is have it help me a little bit with determining, where guys should be in the batting order or whatnot, based on our goals and based on the stats and the data. So I've just plugged in just nothing but data, right? Just stats.
Are you gonna base that off sabermetrics?
and
Or
I
you
said-
traditional, or what?
Right. Yeah. But I plugged everybody in. I said, what would we have a state semifinal game tomorrow, which we didn't because we lost. Right. Here's our team, and here's what everybody's done. What would the lineup be? And it gave me the 9.
Was anything
starters.
shocking?
No, it wasn't shocking at all. Because hopefully by then you know your team well enough to know. Yeah, I think there was 1 or 2 guys in a different spot, but I think they had like Rowan in the 4-hole, but Caleb in the 5. Like they flip flopped Rowan, but there was a reason why I had. Like you didn't know that Caleb hit off-speed pitches better than Rowan, right? And things like that, and you're going to see more of those in the 4-hole, things like that.
Yeah.
But you could put that in there. You can include once you start
That's
including all that you put a little player bio for each one of these guys. You're going to get smarter data, smarter
And,
answers.
Like you said, if you actually have an account, it could be a guest account, not a paid account. But even if you have an account, it's going to collect that data.
Oh
that you
yeah.
get.
I do have that kind of account.
Okay, well, I
yeah.
figured you did.
Yeah, I don't have a paid account.
Yeah,
but I do.
it's
it
saving
does.
that.
Yeah,
So you're
it
building
does.
the intelligence of the AI
Right.
as you go.
Right.
To know those types of things, and it's just as simple as saying, "Hey,
Yeah.
add this into the evaluation. Add this thought to the evaluation." So
The first answer that it gave, and I know that we're getting pretty close to time, but when I asked about how it can help you, is player development. And so here are the bullet points underneath it: swing and pitch analysis, personalized feedback, and progress tracking. So we've talked a little bit about the progress tracking and things, but the swing and pitch analysis. So I had a gentleman, a friend of mine, send me a message with a couple of videos of his son taking swings in a batting cage, and I've already offered some thoughts on it. But then coming into the program, our podcast today, I thought, let's use this as an experiment, right? And so I uploaded his video.
you did this with ChatGPT?
The free version of ChatGPT.
Oh, wow.
Uploaded his video, and this is what I said. So the video was about 17 minutes long, or 17 seconds long, of him taking about 4 or 5 swings in the cage, right? And I said, what is wrong with this player's swing, and how can I help him? And so once I hit send, it was spinning, and it said, I'm watching the video closely. I'm analyzing the video currently, and then when it was done, spit it out. I'm going to read this to you.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's good. And then, Ed, I'll send this to you as well.
Yeah, I actually, when reality,
Oh, this is great.
then I was thinking I'm going to do that
This is great.
just to see.
Yeah. So here's what it says. This is what AI says. And every bit of this is AI. This is not my words or anybody else's words. I watched the video closely. Here are a few things that stand out in this hitter's swing, along with some practical ways you could help him improve. What is off? Number 1, hands and bat path. 2 points under that. His hands are dropping early, creating a slight uppercut path. This makes him late to the ball and limits solid contact. Point 2, or second bullet point under hands and bat path. The bat comes around the ball instead of staying inside the ball, which can lead to rolling over or weak contact, which we know that's what happens when you get outside the ball. And none of that is like, that's an observation that, right? I mean, like you and I would see that if we watched the video.
Yeah.
Right. Here's main point number 2, lower half engagement. His swing is mostly arms. There's not much drive from his legs and hips. The stride is short and doesn't generate much separation or torque. Okay. Main point number 3, balance and finish. He finishes a little off balance, almost drifting forward instead of staying behind the ball and driving through it. And second point under that is the follow-through looks cut short, which can rob him of power and consistency. And that's actually one of my initial thoughts. Like when I first watched it, I was actually standing down at I think during the OU football game, and I pulled it out and watched it. And the first thing I asked was, hey, it seems like he's in a cage and it's kind of a narrow tunnel. And so there's a fence or a tarp behind him. And it seemed like he was stopping his swing, knowing mentally that his bat was going to hit it. And his dad replied and said, well, he asked him and he said he's not worried about hitting that. And that's probably true, but you can't, it's subconscious though,
Yeah,
right?
I think I would say hit it.
Yeah. Try to hit it. Yeah. Your bat needs to hit looking at the proximity of where the bat, his follow through should hit that every time.
Yeah.
Unless the angle's weird or something. But that was the analysis of the problems. And then it says
It's pretty good.
how to help him. Yeah, I thought so too. Right?
But I mean, not just from a coaching, but he could have went and done that. The parent could have done
Yeah, he didn't have to send it to me.
Right.
Right? Yeah, that's what we're saying.
Players
Use
do
this
that.
guy. Use this, moms and dads and parents. Yeah.
Players.
Oh, you can bet I am going to have one of our classroom times is going to be, guys, how to use AI to help yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So how to help him? Here's a drill to help him keep his hands inside the ball, right? And then the next drill, lower half activation. Have him do stride and hold drills, stride, pause, and then swing to feel the hips hinge before he swings. Things like that. Bat path awareness. Work with him on high tee drills to keep the bat, keep the hands, the ball set slightly higher than normal. Try to keep him above the ball. Balance and finish. Soft toss while he focuses on holding his finish for 2 to 3 seconds. And if he's falling forward, he'll feel it immediately, right? And here's a cue: strong base, quiet head. Strong base, quiet head. I love the vocal cue because that's Kevin Wilson right there.
Yeah.
And it might be Kevin Wilson, right? I mean, who knows?
It's true, 'cause
when
it's
it's pulling from
yes,
everything.
right.
It's taking that video and going out and saying, "This is what it looks like." What is the advice for who all out there gives advice?
Didn't know it could do it. That's
I
awesome.
didn't either. That's why I wanted to do it coming in here. And then the very last point is, and this is so like it's scary because it tries to make it personal, right? It has one last point and it says overall he's got a good starting point. He just needs to connect his lower half with his upper body and keep his hands working more directly to the ball. So it's like that's a good way to encourage. Like you sandwich it with positive reinforcement.
Huh.
And so I'm, Ed, I know he probably watches I think he does listen to our podcast, but when he gets to this part in the podcast, he's going to realize this is where I got the information that I sent him. No. But then even underneath that, it says, would you like for me to put together a progression of 4 to 5 drills from simple tee work to live toss that you could use with him in the cage this week? And so like you said, you could say, yes, and then we'll do that. And
now players have something that they can, pre-practice stuff or, after practice, they got time that they have something that they can do to get better.
Before I even knew what ChatGPT was 2 years ago, like how old is ChatGPT?
Oh, Not that. I mean, not old at all. I don't.
This
know.
was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it was probably brand new.
Yeah.
Alex Collins, who would have been a junior at the time, one of my players. He's graduated now. He's here at OU. I just ran into him last week. Yeah, I saw this kid walking with a black Jesus One shirt on that looked just like ours. I went because I saw the shirt first, and I went, "That's a Jesus One shirt." And I went, "That's our Jesus." And I went, "That's Alex." And so went and gave him a hug. But yeah, he sent me a text. It was a long text, and he said, "Coach, I want you to take a look at this and make sure that it's good." He said, I got this work. He was going into the summer between his sophomore and junior year, I think. So it was almost 3 years ago. He said, I want to make sure that I do a personalized workout program to get me ready to be strong at the catching position next year. And he actually didn't catch much for us this year. So it was before his junior year. And he said, I input, what my current height and weight is, and some different, some goals that I have, and this is what it gave me in Chat GPT. And I went, what's he talking about? Chat? I had no idea. Like, what is Chat GPT? So I had to look that up. Like, what is Chat GPT? And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I read it, and I sent it to Brock. I copied and pasted and sent it to Brock, and he's like, yeah, that actually looks like a lot that I would give him.
Yeah,
as a personal trainer.
Yeah. I think that would be the caution that I would give people on is make sure, double check the information that it gives.
Get wise counsel.
Yeah. It does. It can give you some incorrect information every once in a while. You got to, you do have to put a little bit of research into it to fine tune things. But yeah, that's great. I'm definitely going to do that. I'll start doing it in off-season workouts.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. Because we film our kids pitching anyway. Yeah. I get behind them and I film and because I want to see the ball path, if they're tunneling pitches, things like that, and it's just going to be another added tool, another added benefit.
Awesome, good deal.
Yeah,
all kinds of stuff.
It is, and to go back to the complaints about it, right? I think one of the things that, because you mentioned something about this, like with the hay baler, right? We've done the same type of, I'm even thinking about the faculty member who said, well, the discovery process is lost in AI. But really, what about when we were introduced to search engines and Google?
Encyclopedias.
Yeah, do you still go to the library and pull out an encyclopedia and sit down and read it, or do you sit down and use?
Well, and we stopped doing that because salesmen used to go around and sell encyclopedias to people. Mm-hmm. So everyone started buying their own set of encyclopedias, so they didn't have to go to the library. So you lost that experience, and I'm sure there were people during that time that said, "Oh, they're not getting
it's taken away jobs, and it's taken we're not. You're not having the same discovery experience, right? Yeah. It's why it's in every Malcolm Gladwell wrote a book called The Tipping Point, and it's really fascinating because it talks about cultural trends and fads and things that take place, and he talks about how with every new trend, there are groups of people. There's early adopters, and it's been years since I've read this book, so it's funny that I can remember a lot of this, but early adopters, and then you've got those who kind of want to stand back. They're curious, but they're not. They're in the middle. But then he has a group called the laggards, and the laggards are all saying, "Those are never going to. I'm never going to have one of those. Those are never going to take off." And when he wrote the book, what was popular when he first wrote the book? Cell phones had just come out, or they were just getting cordless. Actually being able to carry it in your pocket, early 2000s cell phone. And a lot of old people, a lot of old laggards were saying, I'll never have one of those.
Yeah.
My 90-year-old grandmother has a better phone than I do and a Facebook account. And it's
yep.
we figure it out. We realize this is I'm going to use it,
Yeah.
And so
yeah, we'll make it work.
Yeah.
Don't fret. We overcome things. That's what we do. That's one of our
Yes, the Navy SEAL way.
Yeah, yeah. Greatest attributes as human beings is being able to make things work. So we'll figure it out.
Adapt, overcome, advance. Yeah. Yeah. So we could talk. This it's a fun topic, but it's. I mean, we only talked about baseball use, but think about other sports.
And some of the programs that we're using are implemented, like Game Changer. Mm-hmm. They're going to continue to build AI into their functionality.
You'll have that, yeah.
Yeah, you'll be able to do things with Game Changer that you're not able to do right now to kind of do some of these things that I'm talking about, and that would be from any sport perspective.
Right.
You got Huddle that would be a similar.
Huddle does a lot of those kinds of things right now.
It does, yeah. Well, and Game Changer
makes highlight films.
So
for
Game
kids.
Changer can make highlight films now.
Yeah. If you're
so,
using film,
they're building these things kind of hand in hand to do similar stuff, and I mean it'll be there.
You know what this is doing in my mind now? I'm thinking I'm gonna stop making my Game Changer public. We're not going to use it anymore. I'm not going to film. I'm not going to use a game because once it's out there, everybody else can grab it.
The only time Game
Use
Changer
it
was
against
ever
me.
used against me was by a dear friend.
Tell this story and we'll log off. This is a funny story.
Well, I mean the story, the punchline comes first, really, because I have a guy that had 30 hits on the season, and 29 of them were down the left field line. And the 30th hit came straight over second base against you, because your second baseman was playing behind second base because he pulled everything down the left field line.
Well, the funny part though is that I said his spray chart showed that he's never he's never hit a ball to the right side of the field.
His spray chart, and I said,
and
what do you mean his spray chart?
Yeah, you didn't realize you had them open.
This is week.
You had your Game Changer. You had all your
last
stats
week of the
wide
season.
Open. Yeah,
and my buddy says, "Oh yeah, your spray chart. Yeah, everything's open to the public. Thanks."
It didn't work for us though.
It didn't work
we
that
shifted Addison, and the son of a gun hit a base hit over the second base, where the second baseman would have been playing.
And
a line drive.
I brought that up at the clinic talking to the Game Changer techs, and they said a lot of people don't put the correct.
The correct. Yeah, I've thought about that. Yeah. You have to be intentional about that though, because your instinct in your mind is to put and also it's not, if you don't put the in game change, like the proper fielder wouldn't get the credit. So if you're doing that, then basically you don't care what the Game Changer stats are, because you're if you said, well, this kid hit the ball to right field when it really went to left, well, then your left fielder doesn't get the put out.
And plus, you can't use the day either. Like,
I doubt that very many people are doing
like
that.
Addison's approach favored his pull side swing.
Yeah.
There were pitches that he intentionally did not typically swing at, because that's what he liked to do, was hit the ball.
Well, it was our mistake too for throwing him a curveball. Right, because then he was out in front of it and he nubbed it off the end of the bat, and it was like a flare. It was, and we're like, no. So,
that's not what Game Changer said.
Yeah. So you can't remove the human element. That's the point, right?
Yeah.
Human beings are still going to.
It's just another tool.
It done.
It's just another tool. Good talking today,
Yep.
Coach.